As many of you are now aware, last Friday evening, I, the coach, participated in our annual fantasy football draft. I did something way out of character and in a moment of weakness selected Tom Brady as my starting quarterback. I now know that this was wrong and I would like to apologize to everyone on Team Blitzed for my actions. I am utterly distraught at the pain and anguish I have caused my family, my friends, and you, our listeners, for betraying your trust in selecting a quarterback who couldn't even beat Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. Like Tom, I am just a man, capable of mistakes and misjudgments. I can only hope you'll try and forgive me and let me learn from what is now my biggest mistake to date as a human being. Come on, like, this isn't... Read it! My biggest... I'm done!
Tonight on Blitzed, we kick off the NFL regular season with a two-part special featuring 6 women NFL experts. Plus, we discuss a suitable punishment for the coach, and we talk 80s movies. So grab a beer and get comfy. It's time to get blitzed. Welcome to Blitzed, where we talk NFL and rate popular drinks at the same time. Tonight is our NFL regular season preview show.
Yes, football's back.
Where we'll be talking to NFL experts from 6 different NFL markets. All of them also happen to be women. It's also shotgun night.
What?
Let's introduce our hosts.
Introducing tonight's starting lineups. The coach,
Seriously, I did not know about this. This is so awesome.
the rookie,
Get out there and smash.
and stats.
I'm just the stats guy. I have no idea.
That's kind of my thing. That's kind of my thing.
As we mentioned in the intro, it's our regular season preview show tonight. We also happen to say that it's shotgun night, guys.
Yay.
And let me talk about what that means.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I think I'm going to explain it.
Oh.
What we've noticed in the NFL recently is that teams are moving more and more to the shotgun formation. At least that seems to be what we think.
Fair.
Is that correct?
Fair, yeah, totally fair.
Terrible justification for what we're going to do.
So here's the thing. Before we talk about what you're going to be doing drinking-wise tonight, I wanted to drop a little knowledge on you.
That'd be rare.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I'd like to drop some stats on you guys. No one said it was going to be accurate
That's true.
or right or...
That's true. Good stuff. In 2016, the 5 teams with the best offenses in the league used the shotgun formation the least,
Wow.
believe it or not.
Wow.
Cool.
That's the Saints, Falcons, Redskins, Patriots, and Cowboys. 4 of the 5 teams that used the shotgun the most ranked among the 10 poorest performing offenses. One example, in 2016, the Chip Kelly-led San
That's what I was
Francisco
gonna say.
49ers
I was thinking of.
used the shotgun formation 77% of the time, and they were 31st in average yards.
Went well.
Good job, Chip. Go back
Love Chip.
to college.
Yep.
So what we're going to do tonight is celebrating the shotgun formation with the beginning of the regular season. The guys are going to shotgun 5 different beers tonight, and they're going to tell you which is going to be their favorite beer to shotgun before the NFL starts.
So you're doing 3 and I'm doing 2?
This is unholy.
You're not sharing them whatsoever.
I'll do half. I'll do 2.5.
Yeah.
So when
You
you
do 2.5.
So when you hear the referee's whistle, you know the guys. It's time for another beer for them to shotgun.
I thought training camp was over.
Oh, and there it is. There's the referee's whistle.
No.
Here we go. We're gonna dive into our very first shotgun. Okay, first beer to shotgun tonight is Bud Light. So we're standing up, getting ready to shotgun these things. Now we have to poke the hole in the bottom of the can before we shotgun.
What if it sprays?
We'll aim the can towards you.
These guys are fools.
All right, so one just sprayed all over my face.
Meanwhile...
Oh, man. Okay, I got it. Are you ready to go here, guys?
No, come on.
What are you talking about?
Are you making a pedal?
What's a science project you got going over there?
No, I just like to shotgun properly here, fellas. The guy's covered in beer. What do you got, a science project?
It's cologne.
What do you got, a cold sweat happening?
In 1, 2, 3. That's a good one.
Forgot how much I enjoyed that.
Okay, guys, one shotgun down.
face
We
still
did great.
red.
Is it still?
Looks like you just went to watch fucking Shamu. He's sitting in the front row.
Where the hell does Shamu come from?
It looks like he was at an orca
whale,
show.
yeah.
Okay, one down. What did you guys think of Bud Light?
I thought warm Bud Light
Yeah.
was excellent. For the record, probably the best shot. That's why we went with that one first.
We did good.
Yeah.
We did good.
All in all,
Oh,
8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
For
Okay.
for shootability, yeah, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I gotcha. I
All right.
gotcha.
Let's
Nice.
let's keep it at that.
I'll give you a 1 out of 10.
Take one.
Recently, the Bengals hosted an 80s night prior to their roster cuts.
So
using that as a theme, what 80s movie would you say will tell the best story of the 2018-2019 NFL season?
You know what movie first popped in my head?
Oh, rookie, what do you got?
Weekend at Bernie's. Don't even know
Oh!
if that's an 80s.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Yeah.
Just go with it now.
Just
Just go with it.
Yeah,
You're
now
on-
I
you're-
got to
you're
make
running.
it work.
You're
Okay,
running.
well, let me
do it.
think of the ways I can make this work. You know what the second movie that popped into my head was? And I wish I could make this one work, but there's just no way.
Go for it.
It's Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
so good.
That might have been late 70s though.
So here's my take.
Okay.
It has to be a competition where someone ends on top, right? With all key individuals, like individuals, right?
Yes.
Like because
Well,
that's
teams.
what teams are. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Teams made up of individuals.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
You're
my
building this up.
my movie, there's a brash newcomer.
Oh.
There's a charismatic veteran. There's a hated longtime troll.
Can't
Tom
imagine.
Brady.
Can't imagine what that could be.
There's a likable rookie. Actually, this will throw a curveball to you. There's an annoying rodent.
Oh.
And then there's a clueless kind of tradesman character, an everyman.
Browns?
You know what movie it is?
Well, go on.
Annoying rodent should have pointed it out to you.
Ratatouille?
80s.
I know.
Who comes out on top?
Oh.
One person out on top, facing off against one other. It's Caddyshack.
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day.
Good. So what's the problem?
I don't know.
My favorite 80s movie, probably.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, great cast.
Oh, it's a great
Chevy
show.
Chase.
Great show.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray
Yep.
with it's a Cinderella story. Oh my God, so good. Anyway, Danny is
Danny Noonan.
Danny Noonan
Yep.
is facing off against the judge.
He's a judge.
And in the end, the good guy prevails and comes out on top, and I think earns himself like a full ride scholarship, or the judge has to pay. So yeah, I liked how the annoying rodent. Who do you think that is?
Probably the Gopher.
No. I mean players or teams or players.
Teams.
You
Oh,
know?
is it teams?
Belichick,
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
Gotta
Yeah.
be Belichick.
The brash newcomer, that could be like St.
Mayfield.
Louis Rams.
Mayfield's good.
Mayfield.
Or if we're talking about, I was thinking more like teams. Like
Oh, teams.
You can't switch though. You can't go player and team.
You went
with us.
individual.
well, I can
and
do
then
whatever
you
I
went
want. It's
team.
my take, So
Oh right, sorry. Yeah. Go on.
yeah. So yeah, there we go. I'll go with Caddyshack. That's it's my favorite
Wow.
80s movie.
So this year there's a few teams that have just loaded up. Right? You've got the Rams, of course. I know there's been some poo-pooing of the Eagles, but I think they're pretty loaded myself. The Texans are coming back with a great quarterback, and if they stay healthy, they got some beasts on that defense. Yeah. I think, and the Vikings too, right? They take a great defense with great weapons, and they add Kirk Cousins. Like, there's some beastly teams out there. It is incredible. So one of my favorite genres, if you will, of movies, I'm going to go with Clash of the Titans.
Provide him with suitable weapons. Weapons of divine temper. A helmet, a shield, a sword.
This year.
Wow, original.
Yeah, going Clash of the
With the
Titans.
owl.
Nice, exactly, right?
The mechanical owl.
Mechanical owl.
His name's Boobo.
Do you understand all those clicks and wheezes?
Perfectly clear to me.
Who's the mechanical owl in your take?
I unfortunately haven't gone to that depth
Okay,
like you
okay,
have. But I
okay.
appreciate your
All right.
your granularity there.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
will.
no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, I pulled that out. But I'm just like you look at the you read stuff, you look at the TV, you watch things with NFL. It just feels like there's just a few teams that are just going to fight it out, and everyone else is like, yeah, we're 9-7. Yeah, we're 8-8. Yeah, we're 9-7. And there's a few that's going to be like 14-2, 13-3, and then it's almost like you already know who's going to be there at the end of the year, right? And it's those teams I mentioned, right? Nice. Eagles, Rams, Vikings, Texans, and probably the Pats will get in there just because they're the Pats, right? So, anyways, that's my movie.
Mailman. Mailman.
Tonight on Mailbag, we're talking with 6 women NFL experts who will talk about their expectations for their teams this season, as well as how they see women's roles evolving in the NFL. Guys, we're being joined by Dana O'Gorman, who's with Our Turf Football, covering Seahawks football. Oh,
finally.
The coach!
Yes, I'm awake! Go Hawks!
Dana, welcome to Blitzed.
Welcome, Dana.
Thank you guys so much. Yes, go Hawks.
I think that's all the sound the coach needs. I think you're good.
Yeah, we're good.
You're good. Yeah, we've
We're done.
been beating them up pretty badly. So, okay, so Dana, NFL teams had to cut their rosters down to 53 from 90 players recently. Which player did the Seahawks cut that was the biggest surprise to you?
I don't know about that. When I read the roster the first time, I wasn't really taken back by any of them. I mean, there was always this huge group that was on the bubble for a long time. So when it came through, I wasn't too overly surprised by any of the names. The one thing that did kind of throw me was Austin Davis. He was the backup quarterback, and they ended up putting him on IR, and he wasn't injured. It was the strangest thing. We never knew he was injured. He played a half a game in the fourth preseason game. So that was like the most bizarre thing. It comes out now, it looks like they were just trying to figure out a way to hold on to him. So basically they put him on IR, and they're paying him much more than they would have to, and they're paying him actually his base salary. So it's pretty obvious that they're just trying to keep their grips on him so he doesn't go anywhere, and that he got paid. So it is a weird situation. You know, when they brought in Hundley, we knew that Austin Davis was probably on the chopping block because he didn't play well before. But yeah, that was just real bizarre to me. That caught me way off guard.
Last year, it was widely known that the Seahawks had one of the lowest paid offensive lines in the NFL. What do you think the team has done to make up for that and to give Russell a bit more protection and time in the pocket?
2 words, Dwayne Brown. That's what they have done. They brought Dwayne Brown in at the end of the season. Thank God. I will praise the man forever for Dwayne Brown. He has been a gift from the heavens for the offensive line. You know, that leadership was just so important. And Justin Britt was trying, our center was trying to do a great job, you know, trying to be the leader. But there was just something different about Dwayne Brown. And when he came in, it was like a light switch went off. And so we actually, as horrific and scary as the offensive line was for the Seattle Seahawks last year, toward the end of the season, you actually saw some improvement. So there was this tiny little spark of life coming off of the line. We were so thrilled about it. But in the offseason, oh my gosh, what a difference.
So Dana, recently the Bengals hosted an 80s night prior to their roster cuts. So using that as a theme, what 80s movie would you say will tell the best story of your team this year?
This is the most brilliant question. Y'all need to pat yourself on the back for this because I flippin' love this question. It is so good. So it killed me. It absolutely killed me. Like I was just racking my brain so much. And obviously the first answer that comes to mind is obviously The Breakfast Club because you have the goody two-shoes, which is totally Russell Wilson. And then you have, you know, the emo, you know, chick in the back who's Doug Baldwin. If you know anything about Angry Doug Baldwin, that's who he is. And then and then you have the bad guy in the corner who used to be Michael Bennett, but now we're thinking it's Frank Clark. And then you have the super sporty guy who always in my head is like super jacked up. That's Earl Thomas. And so, I mean, it made sense. Like it was like everyone had a character.
Yeah, I got a question. Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
But when I thought about it a little bit more, it really came down to weird science for me. Pete Carroll and John Snyder took these guys and these personalities and these people no one wanted and, you know, cast-offs from other teams, and they put it all together and made this insane team. And now they've torn it all apart, and they're going to try and do it again. And I think that that's really exciting.
Trust the process.
Okay, look, you know how you're always talking about how you can simulate all that stuff on your computer? You know? What's the difference? Why can't we simulate a girl?
Dana, recently the coach drafted Tom Brady as his starting quarterback on his fantasy football team. Yeah, thank you. That was our reaction, too.
It happened.
So we're just asking for opinions. You know, choose one of the 4 answers.
should we, A, waive the coach, B, give him a 2-game suspension, C, forgive him,
Yes.
or D, smother him with the Tom Brady jersey? What do you think?
Oh my gosh, all of the above. No, so probably,
Good answer. Let's leave it at that.
You know, I love fantasy football myself. I get that it's supposed to be about the point. So, Coach, I get it a little. But I refuse to have a Patriot on my team. I won't do it. Until this year, I added Gronkowski. I did it this year. I added Gronkowski. And so I get it. I get it a little bit. But at the same time, you need to smother him with the jersey because it can't ever happen again.
Yes! I love it. Yeah, all right. Exactly.
Tough love.
All right.
Tough love.
Yeah. I love it.
Dana, this has been a huge pleasure to have you on Blitz.
Huge.
It's been really fun chatting with you about the Seahawks. So, you know what? I don't say this often. The coach knows this, but go Hawks.
Go Hawks!
Oh, yes. I'm so proud of you right now. Go Hawks. Nice.
So that's Dana O'Gorman. She's with Our Turf Football, and she covers the Seahawks. Thanks very much for your time tonight, Dana.
Thanks so much, Dana.
It's awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks.
There's the whistle.
Ah!
Oh, no. Okay, time for Coors Light. Got a shotgun this one. You guys ready?
No,
Yeah.
truly not.
Yeah. No, you guys going to be fine.
Oh. Here's what I didn't like about it.
What?
The half of the beer that came through my nose is still lingering. It still lingers.
It was so cold. It's like it was just from the Rockies already. I was just killing
That's a good.
me.
You're
That was
giving
just killing
Coors
me.
Light a big vote there.
Guys, rating out of 10 for Coors Light.
6.
6. That's a good rating.
It's
It is
okay.
a good rating.
I'm not changing it. You're not going to talk me out of that.
No, you can't change it.
Do you know why? Because
No
it
takes, these
was
backsies.
clean, but it just had a little bit of bite at the end that I just didn't appreciate. But
give
it was decent. It was decent.
I like Coors Light.
I do too. I don't mind it rather.
Yeah, I will. I will buy a 6-pack of Coors Light if I'm watching a game.
Yeah.
It's
a good game beer.
I'll go 4.
No, don't do decimals. Don't do decimals. Oh man.
4.5.
It just means you're a terrible shopper.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
I buy this beer.
You know
even
what I
though
like
it's
to
less
do?
than half.
I like to buy a 6-pack of Coors Light and watch a football game and shotgun them every 7 minutes.
I love it.
I'm not buying it to shotgun. I'm buying it to sip.
Guy goes to a car dealership. How did you like the test drive, sir? I'd give it a 4 out of 10.
And I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Guys, we've got Bears Girl on the line. She's a regular contributor for the Bears Bar Room. Guys, say hi to Bears Girl.
What's up, Bears?
BG.
Hey, Bears girl.
guys.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Oh yeah.
So, Bears Girl, which player did the Bears cut that was the biggest surprise to you?
We actually just talked about this on Bears Hour Live that I just wrapped up recording, and for me, and we all agree, it was Ryan Nall. He looked amazing at camp. He was the lead rusher of all running backs in preseason. He's been signed to the practice squad, so that's kind of an okay for us, but we are really surprised that they cut him and kept Mike Burton instead. And we had the pleasure of talking to Ryan on one of our shows at the Bears Bar Room, and he was just great. So that was a sad and a shock to us as well.
National media tend to not go so deep with their analysis on teams. So tell us, what are we overlooking when it comes to the Bears this year?
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of commentary right now on whether the Bears spent too much to get Khalil Mack, on whether, stacking their wide receiver core like they have in the offseason is going to matter. I think what we're overlooking is the fact that this team has done almost a complete 180 since Pace took it over. We have players on this team in the last 2 years that haven't played before with the Bears.
Right.
And I think you've got someone like Kevin White who's actually going to start, and I hope, balling out. Split decision over on our camp and our crew tonight on whether White is actually going to see the field much, given that I think he's a fourth stringer. But I think if we can get him on the field and if we can get him the ball, he's actually going to prove why Ryan Pace picked him as his first overall pick in 2015.
What 80s movie would you say will tell the best story of the Bears this year?
It's funny because all I keep thinking about as we see all of the new branding and all of the social media and all of the the amazing kind of retro feel of some of the stuff that they're doing is Back to the Future.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
I feel like the Bears are going back to the future. They're going back to the past to pull Monsters of the Midway out from where it had kind of been in hibernation. They're coming up with a future plan, definitely a very aggressive, bold, and kind of sleuthy pace process to get these players both in the offseason and now in preseason. And I think that that's what we're going to have. We're going to have the past dictating the future and the future being pretty darn good for us.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
You might have heard that we're big Tom Brady fans on this show.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the case because I wouldn't have agreed to come on if you were.
I like it.
We like you, BG.
Bonus points.
Love
Yes,
it.
bonus
Fantastic. So tell us, what player is the biggest villain in the NFL not named Tom Brady?
You know what? It's going to sound like a cop-out, but I got to go with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh! What? I like it.
Rookie just swallowed his tongue.
I like it.
Thanks for coming on.
He was recorded earlier this year bashing his teammates. He's obviously got issues with, kind of his coaching staff. And
Bad leader.
his personal life is always in the media.
Yep.
It's true.
So
It's true.
I think he likes to play that role, of kind of the woe's me, look at me, but I'm going to come out and, I'm still on top and I'm still the GOAT and I'm still
dick.
Aaron Rodgers. And it's like, yeah, what do you got to show for it, dude?
Oh, I like this. This is real talk. Real talk.
I obviously don't like the Packers. That shouldn't come as a surprise given my name is Bears Girl.
How could you?
Yeah.
And I'm going to issue my condolences to the Packer fans listening on this podcast because they wanted Fangio, they wanted Fuller, they wanted Robinson, they wanted Mack, and we got them all. We will see you all on Sunday at Lambeau.
That was a full pull. That was a full pull.
Wow.
No one wants to move to Green Bay.
It's not a draw, is it?
It's not a draw.
Absolutely love it. So Aaron Rodgers is Biff.
Aaron Rodgers is
You know what?
for sure.
You're right.
What are you looking at, butthead?
So every year in the NFL, there's a surprise team that comes out of nowhere. So what team is going to surprise us all this year?
Well, it's obviously the Bears, but I'm not going to answer them because, that'd be too obvious. I actually have some hope. I actually have some hope for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I like
nice.
it.
I
like
have to believe they're going to win at least one game and have a 1-15 season. I have to give them that. But no, seriously, I think the Browns are trying to make some serious plays. I think they are trying to get talent. I'm not sure how much Hard Knocks is going to be in their favor, given that no team, from my recollection, that's ever been featured has ever had a good year. But they got to be better than no wins.
Now, what's considered a good season if you're a Browns fan?
I don't know. I think you'd have to ask the Browns fan.
Fair enough.
I'm just curious. You said,
maybe a season that you had the same quarterback for 2 seasons in a row.
Oh,
Okay.
I like that. I like
that's
that,
not
Matt.
bad.
Yeah, I like that.
So
That's
not
pretty
this
good.
year. Not this year.
Yeah, it's going to take a couple years. Yeah,
Maybe next year.
Actually, it might. It'll be Taylor this year and Mayfield next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're going to start laying the foundation this year, and then next year will be really great.
So, Bears Girl, you work for an organization called the Bears Bar Room. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Bears Bar Room is a collective of 7 podcasts. There's a podcast every single day that's Bears related. And I work with some really great people over there. We've got a website. You can go to bearsbarroom.com. We just launched our swag shop. And you'll find everything from fantasy football analysis, things like betting and gambling tips from Mike North. You can find that every Friday, as well as coverage of the game that we just played every Monday night on Bears Hour Live, as well as games that are upcoming on our 100 Proof and the Phone 55 shows. So lots of coverage there. If you're a Bears fan, if you're not a Bears fan, pop on over anyway, because we're going to be talking about your teams almost every single week. when we're playing against you. So,
Rookie, did you hear that? You can go over and you can listen about the Packers.
2 weeks of the year. Already taking a look here.
Love it. Well, it's been a huge pleasure to have you on. I know it's late, and we really appreciate you making the time.
thank you so much, guys. Have yourselves a great night.
Take 2.
Jerry Jones has recently started talking about an 18-game season again in the NFL. So what's your opinion on an 18-game season?
From the player's point of view, I don't think it'll ever happen. Because of the player's point of view, I don't think it'll ever happen. I just think that like the injury risk, I just don't see how adding 2 games, the players will allow it. Either that or like the pay is going to go way up because the risk goes way up.
I don't think it helps. So one of the many reasons why I watch football is that basically the regular season is like the intro to playoffs. Like it's only 16 games. Like, so every game matters, and with 18, every game will still pretty much matter. And it was like it won't make a ton of difference. If it went to like 40 games, like that would be a massive difference in how you do everything in football, right?
Yeah.
But 18 to 16, I mean, it doesn't feel like it matters.
No,
and I think just keep it the same. I think the preseason is still good. I mean, not that you want to watch, but for the teams, especially since they can't practice as much and like 2 days and whatnot, I think you need to have those 4 preseasons to kind of vet the players, get a bit of tune-up. But 16 games, I think it's fine. 18 is not going to help it. It's not going to make any difference. It's not going to change the dynamic of the league. And it's if anything, it's probably just a bit of a cash grab for the league in my mind.
You think a loss is weighted the same in a 16-game season as it is in an 18?
I just don't think there's enough difference. Okay. Like it doesn't turn the dial on. Hey, we've made a dramatic change to make this better because of blah. Like, what are they fixing? Or what are they improving? Like when you make a change like that, it's not that trivial, right? In terms of schedule, in terms of like the wear and tear and whatnot. So what are you fixing? What are you improving? Or are you just saying, well, we don't want 4 preseasons, let's add 2 more regular seasons, which when it's all real. I just don't think there's enough rationale.
So what was Jerry's rationale?
His rationale, believe it or not, was that players stand less of a chance of sustaining a major injury with more regular season games.
Is Jerry okay?
No, I don't think so. Okay, can I jump in here?
Of course.
Okay, so here's the thing. Of course, this is a cash grab. This is about making more money, and this is a league that can't keep on increasing teams, and so they have to do more with what they've got.
Yeah.
So their only answer is to increase the season by 2 regular season games. We've just gone through a long off season where people are jonesing for football.
Sure.
Of course they are. So clearly what we're telling the NFL is that we want more football. We want a longer season. Now, the cool thing about the NFL, I've always found, is that it's a 16-game league, so every game matters.
Yep.
So this is one of the few sports where you will watch a game where your team isn't even playing.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Because it has ramifications, right?
Yep.
So why is it that we couldn't do something like, can we not increase the length of the season by 4 weeks, okay?
Yeah,
and add an extra bye with players, so players are better rested, and you extend the season out. People get to watch more football, and there's an $8 billion pie that's all responsible for. That's television money right there.
But your point, they extend it without increasing the number of games.
Yes.
Extend it without increasing the amount of games.
Just more buys.
So you get 25% longer season. The networks will bid 25%, hopefully, more money on that, even if it goes up 15%.
Yeah,
guys, what's 15% of $8 billion? That's more money that they can get.
Yep.
So let's not put the players at risk. And by the way, like this proposal that they had about extending to an 18-game season and only letting players dress for 16 games. Do you hear that proposal?
It's
fucking ridiculous.
That is fucking ridiculous.
It's so stupid, especially in light of, can you imagine when legalized gambling comes in? Why don't you try to explain that? Hey, guys, I had to rest Aaron Rodgers this game because, I just wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just not going to work.
No. And lastly, I mean, actually, the point you made about it, we want more games or we want more football to come back. It's like that actual gap makes it that much more amazing. That's why we love it, because there's an actual gap for that.
Guys, we're being joined by Lindell Whirling, otherwise known as the Steelers fangirl from the Fangirl Sports Network.
Nice.
Lindell, welcome to Blitzed.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's a real pleasure. So, Lindell, we've been talking roster cuts. Who was the most surprising roster cut on the Steelers this year?
Absolutely, it was Landry Jones. There was so much worry and concern that they were going to cut Josh Dobbs, and that kid played his heart out. He played for his life, and he got himself on the roster. People were shocked, and people love it.
Wow. So where do you think Landry Jones is going to end up?
it's going to be an interesting question. He certainly has talent. He certainly has experience. The Steeler playbook is fairly difficult, so there should be a team that picks him up. I just couldn't be the person that has to cut all these players. It feels so horrible. So I really wish him the best. And one of the anecdotes after his cut was that he called Josh Dobbs to congratulate him. That's the story of a big person.
Wow. What's going to surprise us all about the Steelers this year?
I think every team has issues and things that are not perfect. And for the fans, they're a little bit concerned about Le'Veon Bell. Is he coming back? When is he coming back? Is he doing things in the offseason to prevent him from being his best? But, hey, that's the thing about a team. And the Steelers' vibe and the Steelers' history and the Steelers' motto is hard work. There's never really a gaping hole. They have contingencies. They have consistency. They've been there before. And they know how to prepare for these injuries, these absences, and sort of these interruptions. So I think people are focused a lot on what are we going to do without one of our big players, our star players, our generational players. But there are people working really hard. The train is in motion, and everybody needs to get on board before the first game of the season. And I don't think they need to worry about Le'Veon as much as maybe some of them have.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
Well said.
Very well.
Okay, if you were running the team, Lindell,
as you should,
you are yes, of course, I agree with that.
From what I've heard,
With
hell
the
yeah,
train still be on the track.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did I mention her name is Lindell Rooney?
Yeah, nice.
Okay, Lindell, if you're running the team, what would you do about Bell?
I think you got to let Bell run the course. He is not a guy that is going to be strong armed. I don't think he's a guy that responds to ultimatums. And, you know, what they're seeing is some of these players getting these really, really large contracts put in place, including members of his own team, the kicker, you know, getting a huge contract. So I think you've got to let him be a man. You've got to make him come to the table. And as time is ticking away, as I said, there's players that have played their hearts out that are vying for that spot. And there's members of the team publicly speaking out saying, get on the train. It's in motion. So I think you have to let him be an adult and come to the Steelers and get the deal done. That's my personal opinion. I just don't think it's a franchise that's going to bend over backwards and beg and plead.
Okay, Lindell, we've been asking the same question to all women on the show tonight. What 80s movie will tell the best story of the Steelers this year?
I grew up in a Star Wars family, and that's the family.
Wow.
I'm going with Return of the Jedi. Luke, otherwise known as Ben Roethlisberger, is here to battle the Ravens, the Bengals, and that other team in Ohio.
Ouch.
He is going to use the 3Ds, now known as the 4 with Boswell. And I think he's going to reaffirm the love with AB, and he's going to bring in, just wait for it, my favorite 3 players who are all from the University of Southern California. And they are going to go ahead and disrupt the dark side.
I see you have constructed a new lightsaber. Your skills are complete.
So those players, I'm just going to call them out. Juju Smith-Schuster, Zach Banner, their newest addition, and Xavier Grimble. That's my movie plot for the Steelers this year.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Raj just fell in love.
This is incredible.
Guy.
In your opinion, what will it finally take for a woman to become an offensive or defensive coordinator in the NFL?
The big challenge that women have in coaching positions is cultural fit, because you have to have credibility. And until there's a woman who's been in that position and walked a mile in those shoes, the barriers and the obstacles are huge. It doesn't mean that it can't be done. We're seeing women come in and have more prestigious, more powerful, more authoritative roles. The Sixers just have a woman that came in. The Raiders have brought in a woman. So I think it's going to be gradual. I think it's going to take time. And the person that finally gets and first receives that position is going to have to be a pedigree. I would say, I mean, I hate to be extreme, but some kind of Olympic athlete or a woman who has really done remarkable, incredible athletic feats. Because to get a younger player who has incredible talent to trust the program or the coaching that is provided by such a person, it's really a leap in today's day and age. But I hope that it happens. I can see it happening, but it isn't going to be just any old candidate. It's going to be a really special person that gets put into that position, and they're going to have a lot of pressure and eyes on them, so they're going to have to succeed, and that's why it won't be just an average person.
Okay, as you probably know, here on Blitzed, we're huge Tom Brady fans. You may have heard that.
Do I get the question? I already know the answer.
So let us ask you, what player is the biggest villain in the NFL not named Tom Brady?
Oh my gosh. I just wanted to say Tom Brady. Now I have to have a moment.
No, that's the right answer!
You got it! Wow.
Nailed it! I love it.
That's perfect.
Okay, that's my final answer.
Oh, very
You don't like
nice.
mine.
Very nice.
All right, Lindell. Well, you're part of the Fangirl Sports Network. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that is?
I'd love to. It's just a phenomenal concept, and it really is one that I think once people hear about, especially women, are going to want to be a part of. So thank you for letting me share it with you. The founder of the Fangirl Sports Network, Tracy Sandler, is a rabid, incredible blogger and San Francisco 49er fan. She started blogging, made relationships with the team. She's on a first-name basis, and she's up there all the time at Levi Stadium and in Santa Clara, continuing to evangelize the Fangirl Sports Network. And what it really is a place for women who enjoy sports, NBA, NFL, and all the other professional teams to come together with not just sports information and stats, but to really empower women with female content. And it's not girly girl type stuff. It's useful, relevant, interesting content, but it's all around football and basketball and lifestyle. So I have tremendously enjoyed being a part of it. I can tell you, there's not a lot of women that really get together and talk about sports. And I've even been on a podcast where the host said, we don't really like talking about sports with women. So what she found is there's a lot of female fan base, opportunity for women to come together. And so she's filling that void in the place in the market where there's actually a need and an interest.
Lindell, it's been a huge pleasure talking to you. Lindell, the Steelers fangirl. Thank you so much for your insight on the Steelers. Wonderful.
That was awesome.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. And here we go. It's time to play some football.
That wraps up part 1 of our regular season preview special. Part 2 will be available soon. And before we sign off, we just wanted to shout out a few listeners who put Team Blitzed in their Twitter profiles. Folks, you are awesome. Just Ann, who's a Steelers fan. Ben Driscula, who's a Bears fan. Joey Bag of Donuts, Steelers fan. Tartan Tony, Bears fan. Football and Other F Words, a Titans fan. Steven Smith, Titans fan. David Chesbro, Bills fan. The Real Alan Ondalen, Bills fan. William Burke, who's also a Bills fan. And Matt Henry, Bills fan, who just had his 19th birthday. Guys, thanks so much. We'll shout out the rest of you folks on part 2 of our regular season special. Thanks for listening.